guys, welcome back, Scumbag. That's the name of this episode. We're back after a long hiatus. This is Stop Being Hateful, the pop culture podcast. My name is Lori, and I'm your host.
And your co-host, Adam, and it's only been, what?
2 years.
I was just saying, 19 months?
19 months. Yeah.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. We took a long break.
Long hiatus. We are now engaged.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Huh. Who'd have thought?
Exciting news.
Yeah, I hope people don't think we stopped recording because we were, not together. That would be sad. All of our 10 listeners and our 1 subscriber.
Shout out JF.
Shout out JF.
Anyways, actually, speaking of breakups in the podcast community...
What are you talking about?
Did you not hear the big news about the big breakup?
What big breakup?
Ben Avery left the Tim Dillon show.
Really?
Live, on air.
Wow,
Lori,
that's crazy. Were they beefing?
I don't think they... I mean, Tim, you know Tim.
Were they beefing?
You've listened to the podcast.
I mean, he's a big name in the podcast community. I feel a little dirty.
But you've listened to the podcast. Everyone knows,
He's bombastic.
He's bombastic, but that is the producer-co-host relationship. That's how you treat me. You degrade me. And
I'm meaner. Sorry. Stop. Yeah, I didn't hear about that. That sucks. I wish them the best.
Tim kept on saying he doesn't want to be a giggler.
What does that mean?
Well, that's what he is on the show. He's the producer and he giggles.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I kept on trying to offer him more money.
Damn, that's rough. Well, best of luck to the both of them. Let's talk about some more conflict. Adam, what did we watch this weekend?
This weekend, I got off work, and we got packed up in the car, a couple brewskis, and went down to the drive-ins for the last showing of the year. Mm-hmm. And what did we see? Don't Worry, Darling.
The movie on everybody's lips. The one that we can't stop talking about.
Olivia Wilde directed
her sophomore film. Her sophomore debut. Do you still call it that if it's your second one?
Yeah, it's your sophomore.
It's your sophomore,
yeah. Copyright music.
But yeah, it was. I saw Booksmart. I think I was drunk. I don't remember.
Booksmart was like a female...
It's like a female comedy movie.
Yeah,
it was
but
pretty
it was like
funny.
a female, what's that Jonah Hill movie with...
Like a female Superbad.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's kind of what it was like.
I never saw it myself. I liked her in House. I almost said Home.
Home, the sequel. Yeah, I don't know. I think...
I'm just drawing a picture of Olivia Wilde from Don't Worry, Darling.
We've seen
set
a lot
in the
of...
1950s. 1950s California.
What is that?
I'm drawing her from Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, okay. We'll post it on our story later. The drawing. Oh, maybe we won't. I don't think she'd like this.
Patrons get
Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Subscribe to the Patreon. They get, it looks like she's a mustache.
She's a hair lip.
Oh my goodness. No, she doesn't. Anyways.
It wasn't
insufferable.
that bad.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think it was that bad. Now that I'm thinking about it, when I left the theater after we saw Elvis, I was really I can't believe I spent money on that. I wanted to leave it so many times. I was just uncomfortable in my seat. It was just I liked Elvis a lot though. But I didn't feel that way during this movie, which maybe is a bad sign. Maybe it didn't have a visceral reaction in me. It was just kind of
Well, let's just say that I wasn't a fan of the movie. I can't really blame, any of the actors or any of the... Well, I can't blame Olivia Wilde because she's the actor and the director. It's I really believe it falls on her shoulders.
But she didn't write the story. In her defense, it's it really the story's there's not a lot to do.
Yeah, but she's the director. You can take tone if you do Stepford Wives is the same movie with a different tone.
That's true, yeah. But it's a different story.
Very similar stories.
Sort of, yeah. Less convoluted though.
Yeah. Oh.
A lot more succinct of a narrative. If you want a movie that's kind of like Don't Worry Darling, just watch Stepford Wives. It's got Nicole Kidman, and she does a pretty good job.
You know.
I want to see that Netflix one I keep seeing ads for.
You know, before we get into
the plot.
Well, I'm not even gonna say the plot, but before we get into anything like negative, I want to say like the cinematography. Matthew, how do you pronounce that, baby?
Libatique.
The cinematography of the movie was good.
He's a director.
It was very well shot. Director, cinematography.
Wait, who's the? Can you click on Catherine Hardwicke? Was this produced by the same woman who directed the first Twilight movie? Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? That's
cool. Is pretty interesting. The art direction by Mary Florence Brown and Erica Toth
were all really good. They were really good. Set decoration, shout out. That was amazing.
The whole art department, all the art department, all the special effects, all the visual effects, everything like good. That is all good. The cinematography was amazing. It was very well shot. It was very well lit. Script and continuity. I mean, but so shout out to those people. And honestly, this is the props I give to Olivia Wilde. She was a producer on the flick. Mm-hmm. Or as Harry would say, a proper movie, a proper film.
Proper film.
It's a proper film.
It's a proper film.
So, she did bring all these people together. You know, not people I don't necessarily like, but bigger names like, what's his name, Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
Who else is in it?
Like Kate Berlant, like people who are like talented and like
Florence Pugh,
charismatic people. Like they must have seen something. Certainly not in the story, but maybe with her.
And even before, and Harry Styles is a big name, so yeah.
I don't think the movie would be doing as well if it wasn't for him.
And again, all these other talented people who made amazing costumes, amazing set pieces. It looked great. It was shocking. The lighting was all like amazing.
Yeah, the lighting was really good. But it makes the shortcoming of the story like all the sadder because you're like, oh, this is good.
Well, Harry Styles was just a block of wood.
I don't understand why even have him in this role. Like, why not he could have been in Nick Kroll's role and been just as fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he didn't need to be the main guy. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been in the movie. I don't know whether or not he shouldn't have been in the movie. I don't really care. But I don't think he needed to have such a big role. He clearly cannot act as well as Florence Pugh.
Well, I guess this is where we get into the criticisms now.
Oh no, let's talk about that.
Well, like I said, what?
Like, I think Florence Pugh did a really good job
for what she was given. Rotten Tomatoes has a 38% rotten,
but a 75% audience score.
Audience score, but 38% critics. Interesting divide there.
There's a lot of scenes that seem odd to me.
What's its overall then?
Its overall? Its overall is like whatever the average is for that.
I don't know what that
it says it's a mystery and a thriller. I don't think it's a mystery because the answer is in front of you. But I didn't like their names at all.
You know, I think the movie was, again, it was good. I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but you know what? I would call it a bad movie. I mean, what would you rate it out of 10? Or out of, what do you want to do? 10 or 5? Out of 5. What would you give it?
Out of 5?
Yep.
Maybe a 2.5. Realistically, because it's like
I'd give it a 2. Yeah, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. A 4 out of 10, 2 out of 5. Yep.
I'm probably not gonna watch it ever again.
I don't want to watch it ever again.
No, yeah.
So maybe it's more of a 3.
Maybe if my friends were like, "Oh, you've seen this. Should we put it on?" Maybe.
There's nothing shocking. There's nothing gratuitous. There's nothing that's outlandish.
The sex is kind of gratuitous to me. How often he just wants to just fuck her. It's so odd. They're at their boss's house at one point.
But some people like gratuity. Some people like they like Tarantino movies for the gratuity. You know, Ty West. We watched X and
Pearl. We should just go see Pearl.
Pearl is amazing. Everyone go see Pearl.
Just go see Pearl.
But we watched X and Pearl, and while those were enjoyable, for much other things, they also had a very,
a lot of heart.
No, I was gonna say they have a lot of like gore and a lot of and a lot of nudity, and like there's nothing like that in this movie.
Oh yeah, nobody hangs dong.
There's
shows tit.
Or there's nothing really that shocking. Like even Laurie's saying like it's gratuitous in the sense that like
it's odd.
They're just making out constantly. He's constantly trying to
like just
let's just say pleasure her.
Yeah, it's so odd. And this like it's weird because it's like they're clearly in love by the things that they're saying and how often they want to bone. But it's like we never see them like have like a truly like intimate moment. Like, that would make you think... Like, all of a sudden, he wants to have a baby with her, which is weird for a bunch of different reasons.
Look at that boy spin.
Look at him spin.
I would say, one of the things that I thought was really lazy about...
Even watching it again, I hated it.
We have the trailer on right now as we're talking about it. One of the things that I found super annoying in the movie was... in the story is they'd introduce a concept about, like, the town they're in, about the Victory Project. The whole concept is they're in a company town. The company's called Victory. They're working on something called the Victory Project, and the wives, are 1950s housewives, and the men are working. And that it's the plot of Stepford Wives almost. I'm not gonna know it's not, but it's the setting.
Was that the preview we just watched?
This was the first trailer.
That was literally the entire movie.
Yeah,
there was nothing surprising.
Watching the first trailer is. I mean, if we could watch it and I can narrate the first trailer, it goes literally scene by scene throughout the movie, showing little bits of it.
Everything that's supposed to be a surprise is in the trailer. That's so crazy.
Well, I'm not sure if you remember the tweet because we're not listening to a sound, but the trailer has that the humming that she is humming throughout the movie. The dun dun dun.
Which
dun,
it's like.
Dun, dun.
That sucks. Oh man, maybe that's why it seems so boring.
What seems so boring?
Like the movie, because it's like I didn't realize we've seen so many of these previews.
Yes, we've been targeted because we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
Lori's been clicking on every single story about Shia LaBeouf and all the drama.
I'm obsessed with the drama. This is what people in Hollywood are supposed to do. You're supposed to make kind of okay movies, but then I'm supposed to read about it for like 3 months.
But so what I'm saying was lazy, though. What I'm saying is lazy about it is, or the writing was, they introduce a concept of the Victory Project, and then the next scene. Break it. Mm-hmm. They'd say, "Oh, you know her? She broke the one rule.
Yeah,
we're not supposed to go out into the desert. It's dangerous." The next scene, she goes out into the desert,
and it's not like this. It's not like Florence Pugh's character hasn't seen like grave consequences. Like one woman's like literally so insane from going out there. I don't know why she would go out there after seeing your friend. Like,
well, there's that plane that crashes that never gets explained.
But like, yeah, like again, like what was the point of that?
So she goes. So they literally talk about how this one character disappears out in the desert with her son. Well, they don't mention that at that point, but with her son. Again, I'm always watching the freaking trailer.
It's so much of it is like it's.
Don't watch the trailer. Talk to me.
Sorry.
But yeah, they never answer the plane, and then she goes up to the Victory Project, the door, and wakes up back in her house. But literally the scene before they say, "Don't ever do that," and then she goes and breaks the rule.
Yeah, and like
later they go and say, I guess we're gonna get into spoilers territory.
I don't care. I'll spoil the damn
thing.
Don't listen. Sorry.
All 5 of you that listen, stop listening if you really want to watch it. Or
it's a simulation, but it's like the stupidest. It's the most involved simulation I've ever seen in my life. Like it just seems. Why would any man do this? It seems so.
I would
contrived.
Say the spoiler I was going to get into was yes, they're in a simulation. They're in a virtual reality simulation. She is in a bed. Strapped to a bed, drugged, and being in a vegetative state, being kept in a simulation.
While Harry Styles puts like these lasers that like inject like the memory into her head or something.
Essentially, yeah, that's pretty close. But so I was just gonna say, so if you die in the simulation, you die in real life.
Again, never explain why that is. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make much sense. If you die in a video game in VR, you don't die in real life. It doesn't make much sense. But they establish that rule, and then the next scene they break it. Throughout the movie, there just seems to be like one step of like not thinking something through, and then they have to just like, oh, we're just gonna add this like scene in.
We're like up the ante because we haven't earned the big moments in the movie.
Well, yeah, up the ante, but they're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. We're gonna add this scene in so it has more weight.
Yeah.
Oh, this doesn't. So, you know, they're having a dinner party. They're trying to get back into like she had a hysteric breakout, and they're trying to get back into like, you know, being around their friends again, and they had the boss over, Chris Pine's character. And he comes up to her and just starts like talking like mad
creepy, like weird.
Just being creepy, being like, "Oh, I've been waiting for someone like you to test." And
it's
me.
like the thing about Chris. Sorry, the
ahead.
thing about Chris Pine's character that's so annoying is like, what is he? Like, is he good?
He's the programmer.
Yeah, he's the programmer, but it's like,
Chris Pine's character is like he's the guy who came up with this. He's working with a doctor he's like. Philosophically the leader of the Victory Project about...
I guess it's, like, weird to watch, like, for, like... Because it's, like, when you think about, like, I'm really into cults and stuff, and I guess, like, when you read about stuff like that and people who get sucked into these, like, cults of personality, it's, like, that's the thing, is, like, their personalities. And, like, he's just weird and off-putting all the time. And it's, like, why would anybody... like, the new guy is, like, wants to impress him. Nick Kroll's, like, being so mean to the new guy because he's, like, dorking out. And it's like, why? Is he a tight ass? He seems to be pretty chill. Why would he be upset that you're excited?
Yeah, the new guy's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I was invited to the...
And Nick Kroll's like, you're lucky you can even be here. So
you're lucky you're in his garden.
So it's like, I get...
Like, yelling in his face. It's like, dude, he was literally invited. He's like, why would you yell at the new guy?
Yeah, he's new. He's excited. Yeah, like, what about Chris Pine's character would warrant him being, like, him chastising and excited? It just seems weird. And it's like, he's like gaslighting her. He's like talking to Florence Pugh at dinner, and it's like it's so obvious he's in on it, or like
But she starts talking about, oh, you know, we eat his food. He provides everything. Victory, like we live in Victory homes. Yeah. We have Victory cars and Victory food that comes in on Victory trucks, and they had a lot of scenes
of the men leaving,
and they didn't use again, it just, things feel disjointed, things aren't earned. Throughout the whole movie, there's shots of her making food, there's shots of her doing, like, things around the house.
Why did we never establish that before she said it?
Well, yeah, why were there not branding and logos? There's a scene where she's cracking eggs, and there's no yolk in them. And she's holding the eggs up and just cracking them. Yeah. And there's no little Eggland symbol on them.
Or like, it's just, like, could have been simple. It's like... And then it would have had more meaning.
It could have had a lot more weight to it, you know, if there was there was branding, there were flags, so there was thought put into it, and it became a whole monologue for
it's like her character's like cornerstone like moment.
And so it was frustrating in that sense that like you see these like places where they actually had a theme that they were working on, and they didn't take it far enough to make it actually like hit home. Like you said, they didn't earn anything with it. It was just like, oh, that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, it's like even the relationship with Chris Pine and Harry Styles, it's like, what is his vibe? What is the deal? Like, what?
The awful party scene where she just cries.
I mean, who hasn't been there, honestly, but...
I guess, but this boy can spin scene is...
Yeah, it's so weird, because it's like...
He gets promoted, and Chris Pine pulls Harry Styles up on stage, and Harry Styles just starts tap dancing and ragtime dancing and spinning in a circle. And Chris Pine just keeps going, this boy can sing! This boy can or swing!
Swing, yeah.
Spin!
And he's just
look! Oh no, he says, look at him spin!
It's just weird. It's weird and it's off. It's like, it further goes
look
to
at
like,
this boy spin!
I guess if he's supposed to just be off-putting, then it does a good job at that. But it's like, I don't think... Like, I think it's like, it doesn't make sense for everybody to join this off-putting guy's idea then. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
it's like, what, is this just a group of the worst men that you've ever met and Olivia Wilde for some reason? And that's never explained either. So it's like, I feel like it totally undermines the narrative of the movie to then have Olivia Wilde's character be in it. You know what I mean?
Explain.
The whole point of the movie is to illustrate the lack of autonomy that women felt and can still feel now. But then you have a character who does have autonomy, who's fully aware of the situation, and is choosing to be there because she's getting something out of it.
You're talking about Olivia Wilde's
character. Yeah, Olivia Wilde's whole gag is that she's in it. She put herself in it, because something happened to her kids, and her kids are real in the simulation.
Or at least that's what she's living.
Yeah, but it's like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. One of the well, at least in the sense of one of the themes in the podcast or in the movie is trying to say like women in the past have this much, have just as much control and or women in the past, you know, the 1950s housewife's life where your husband went off and you stayed home and did all the work is the same thing as being strapped down to a bed and living in VR.
It just seems like narratively, like that's why I'm like, I don't even know how much of it is truly Olivia Wilde's fault. It's like the story just doesn't hold up. She didn't write the story. Like, she, at the end of the day, she could have made all the artistic choices and the directorial choices in the world, and it wouldn't change the fact that the fundamental plot is like not it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So it's like, I don't even know how much of, like, flack she really deserves to get, because it's like...
Olivia Wilde?
For casting Harry Styles
what are you talking about?
as
It's
the main
all
lead.
It's literally all her fault. What are you talking about?
Like, I just feel like it's like you can only do...
No, babe, again, like she's the director. She's in charge of tone. She's in charge of, like, you can make this into a... You could, like, again, like, you can make this into a Stepford Wives...
She could hold a shot for longer or something.
More suspenseful, more meaningful. There's so... Again, we were talking about things that she could have done... To like not have this like boring movie. It's her fault, and a lot of it is just like choices, and she didn't make a lot of choices. And let's be honest, she had a block of wood that she was bumming with on the set.
So odd, given the fact that they were alleged. I don't think they're in a real relationship, but it would be weird to watch my boyfriend like fuck fake a girl. Who's like...
She was like, yeah, it's like this weird thing that
he was so cute. I would feel so bad about myself, like...
You know, I don't know. The movie just wasn't good enough to like justify the runtime. It wasn't good enough to justify all the hype. And you're watching. Okay, so there's one scene of Florence and Harry interacting outside of the simulation.
It's weird.
And they seem like they have a good relationship. He loses his job. He's some sort of computer programmer, and she says, "I'll just take extra shifts."
Yeah, she's not a bitch about it. She's pretty chill.
I think she's the one who says, "Don't worry, darling, I'll take extra shifts."
Maybe.
Don't worry,
I don't
darling,
think anybody ever says, "Don't worry, darling," explicitly, but she does say, like, "Don't worry, I'll just take extra shifts." It seems like they're not really... Oh, that shot looks so good.
Sure.
The one with her hands on the thing with the guys behind her. Like, that looks... We'll post it on the Instagram probably, but it just looks... It looks good. There's just scenes in the movie that look amazing, and it just sucks that there's, like, no...
There's no point to any of it.
Yeah, it's like, well, what is this for? Truly. So, but what were we just talking about? Sorry, I got distracted.
I was saying that I don't know. Let's get into the controversy because, well, we were talking about the one scene of so we were talking about the one scene of them outside the simulation.
Oh yeah.
She comes home from work. He's on the computer listening to like Chris Pine's his like Jordan Peterson podcast, and she says like, "Oh, have you made dinner, whatever?" Or he instantly says, "You never responded to any of my texts."
She's a surgical nurse.
She goes, "Oh, I was in the operating room. I can't get texts." He goes, I didn't make." She goes, "Oh, do you have dinner?" He goes, "I didn't make anything for dinner." She goes, "What about the hot water? Did you get the hot water going?" And because if not, I'm just going to go to bed. He says, "No, the guy can't come out till Wednesday."
Well, no, she says, "I just worked 30 hours.
Well, hold on. He then tries to come on to her.
He does try to kiss her.
And then she says, "I just worked a 30-hour shift.
I need to go back to the hospital for 6 hours." Which is insane. I mean, God bless her if that's true. But it just makes him... It's like, okay, so is he just an idiot? Like, they've been together for a long time, it seems like, and he doesn't know that she won't have her phone on her in the literal operating room. Like,
it's kind of crazy that like that was the thing that like pushed their relationship over the edge, where they can now like he was like, "Oh my goodness, she doesn't spend any time with me. I'm going to drug her, tie her to a bed, and keep her in a simulation from now on."
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It makes him seem so stupid.
Where he said he literally said, "Oh, I have to go out and I have to go out and work a job so I can come back here and spend time with you in the simulation. So he's now taking care of her
comatose body,
her vegetated body. He's working a job, and then he's coming back to go hang out with her. To go live in a simulation.
Bro, you could just go on Indeed. Like it's so like it's like, why does he do that?
Yeah, it's a really dumb plot.
It's
honestly.
like, I'm flabbergasted talking about it. It's like, why does he do that? Like, he clearly, like, loves the girlfriend.
And she loves him.
They talk, like, that's like a cornerstone. It's crazy because it's like they make it a point to say about Jack and Alice that they love each other. They bone so much that they don't want to have a kid because they just love to bone and they love to be together. So it's like, I don't know, but that's in the simulation, I guess you could say. But it just doesn't make any sense. It was weird. I didn't like it. It didn't make sense to me. It felt like all over the place. I would rate it, now as we're talking, I would rate it maybe like a 1.5 because it's like, it was really bad. I'm not going to watch it again, probably. If we have kids and our kids are like, we want to watch this movie, and I'm like maybe
but they literally
40,
use the simulation thing to explain, like, why he has a British accent in the simulation. Like,
so, literally so stupid. Why even have that in there? So stupid. So frustrating.
It was very stupid. It was very frustrating.
Does nothing but to denigrate the plot and make it even more obvious that you don't care about the story.
So jumping from that, like I said, into the controversy of it. Shia LaBeouf was supposedly was playing Harry Styles' character, and the rumor is that he was pushed.
They never met, or that they didn't meet enough for him to really get into it. I guess his methods may be more demanding than some people. He's certainly a very intense guy, which I imagine didn't gel with the rest of the cast, just based on what I know of them.
I mean that's just like, yeah, that's not the rumor, but the rumor is that they pushed him out intentionally so that she could get her boyfriend the main role.
Is that true? That'd be funny if they weren't dating and then she got him the role and then they started dating, because then people always say like he's got like a mommy thing, so it's like that would kind of be funny. I feel like your mom getting you like
sure,
you a nepotism baby, but your girlfriend's your mom. But I don't know. I mean, it kind of, I was reading into it. I was really interested in it when all the controversy first hit, because I was interested in the Florence Pugh, Olivia Wilde alleged beef, because Florence Pugh.
So they made not just Harry Styles, they made Florence Pugh really, or not just
allegedly.
They didn't just make Shia LaBeouf uncomfortable on set. They also made Florence Pugh really uncomfortable on set.
That was before they got. That's.
No.
But Harry Styles was like, he came in after. That's when Florence Pugh got upset. She wasn't like, I don't think she was like beefing like with Shia.
No, Shia was well. This is again, Shia was upset at the unprofessionalism of Olivia Wilde, and the rumor is she didn't like him either. She forces him out.
How did he get onto the project if she didn't like him?
Because he's a good actor, and they needed a good lead.
Do your casting direct? I guess not. Never mind. Sorry. But so that was, people were saying that.
And so they force him out, get Harry Styles in, and now they're really starting the film. And
Florence Pugh is dating, what's his name, Zach Braff at the time, and he's very good friends with Jason Sudeikis, Olivia Wilde's ex-fiancé. And, I mean, I get it. I would be uncomfortable if I was friends with somebody and, like, I knew that there was, like, active canoodling or something transpiring that I might not be cool with if it was happening in my own relationship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. I also feel like it's weird. I don't know. Their whole relationship is weird. I don't think they're really together, so it's like odd for me to even be like, to imagine them like doing anything that would make me feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I guess just them being together would be really.
I mean, I like the other rumors. Like, I can't believe you don't know these rumors.
No, I did know that one.
What about the rumor that they were like banging and making out and doing all this stuff on set? Do you know
I heard that. Yeah, no.
Okay, so if those rumors are true.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
if those rumors are true, could that have possibly made what's her name
upset? Yeah, probably. I'd be tight about that if that happened to my boy's girl. Yeah, I'd be tight about that. But just
not just your boy's girl, just like you're trying to work and like people are like making out and like not coming in late and not being professional.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with couples being like working together. I think it's sometimes a good thing. I think you do have to be aware of like a level of professionalism that could easily erode if you're not like conscious of it. You know?
Oh, absolutely. So,
probably super weird for everybody involved. I definitely don't think she pushed him really at all.
Shia?
What the fuck? No, Harry Styles. In terms of like his performance, there's just like a lot of times where like, I'm like, well, surely that can't be his best. Like, surely there's more to come. Like, but I mean, it is what it is. Overall, it's fun to. I like when the elites are entertaining. I like when they are always in the tabloids. I feel like this is like, I always love this stuff. It's like old Hollywood stuff where you see like, you know, the gossip about like the new, I don't know, whatever. But it's fun. It beats like I'd rather watch this than a Marvel movie for sure.
I would agree with that, yes.
I guess in that aspect, I give it a 2. Because it's like,
you keep changing. You went from a 5 to a 1.5 to now a 2.
I'm going to give it a 2.5. That's my final rating. But, yeah, that's it. That's all we got. I would recommend watching Pearl instead.
Yes,
literally,
absolutely.
probably
Go watch Pearl. Please watch Pearl.
Go watch Pearl. Maybe
because Maxine's gonna come out, and I want it to be like a big thing.
Yeah, I want the Mia Goth Renaissance.
$40 million for Don't Worry, Darling.
23 or $35 million.
$35 million for Don't Worry, Darling.
Pearl at a budget of $1 million.
Of $1 million.
But I just feel like it's like if Harry Styles I feel like he doesn't like. Not that he can't be a great actor, because like I feel like people are multifaceted and can develop skills at any time if they put the time in. But like, I don't know. Based off this performance, I don't really think he wants to be an actor. Maybe he wants to bone. That's what it made it seem like he wants to do.
Yeah, it did. Totally, absolutely.
So, all right, that's all we got.
Oh, I just want. Well, no, that's not all I got.
Oh.
I wanted to say that. Looking back, well, just like back to the controversy with Shia LaBeouf, if they didn't have that, we would have had Shia LaBeouf, who's a great actor, who would have been able to do a 1950s I leave to go work on some mysterious project.
I feel like if he was yelling at me, it would be really scary.
And a creepy internet, weirdo. Harry Styles just didn't. It just wasn't it.
He never transcends beyond his role as Harry Styles. If I had to give a critique, it's like I'm always aware I'm watching like a One Direction kid. Like whereas like I feel like Shia LaBeouf yelling would be really scary and probably terrifying.
Or crying.
Just doing any intense.
Which was all the worst parts of the movie.
Yeah, even the dancing and stuff that he did, I feel like probably would have been a lot less corny if. Like, he was, like, fervent about it. Like, if he was, like, sweating, that would have been probably really funny, actually. But he doesn't do that.
No, he does not. Alright, well, that was my last
That's opinion. All I got. Yeah, I mean, good for him, though. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe his next role will be better. Maybe he will be. Maybe it'll be, like, he'll be in Dune or something.
He'll be in Dune.
He'll be, what's the son's name? In Dune, the kid's name? Paul
Atreides?
His son's name.
Leto.
Will be Leto. That'd be pretty funny. Real Dune heads now. Alright, that's all we got. Thanks for listening.
Let me play us out.
Play us out,
DJ James.